Reading in bed.
Well, Amanda.
Well, Andy.
Episode 25.
Yeah. That means that we've had 24. That's clever.
Yeah. It's interesting enough, guys. Of course, it is reading in bed, Amanda, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm Andy N, of course. Now, before we carry on with stuff, it's quite interesting this today because we were talking about this on the radio station interview the other day, Amanda, weren't we? It's hard to believe reading in bed's actually been going on for just over 2 years.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Amanda? When we started this Reading in Bed podcast off, obviously our book review podcast, did you envisage it been going on for over 2 years?
I didn't know how long it was going to last.
Yeah, because obviously, everyone's wondering, of course, when we first started this podcast off, it was a spin-off, really, Amanda, of something you'd done previously, wasn't it?
Yeah, I used to do Amanda's recommended reads.
And how many episodes of that last?
About 3 or 4, was it? About
Yeah.
10 or 15 minutes each, sat there talking to myself about books.
Yeah, and you got to say you got fed up with it, so she dragged me on board. So, poor girl. But anyway, guys, of course, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Now, a slight change in the format this, at least at the moment, guys, for reasons that can't really go into at the moment because it's all personal. But this month we're only doing 3 books, Amanda, aren't we?
Yeah.
We might pick up later in the year, but it's just been there's things going on in the background at the moment. So, but anyway, before we go on to book 1, which is Amanda's solo book this month, right, Amanda, we have news.
Yeah, lots of news.
Ladies first.
My book is coming out on the 2nd of March, which is called The Ghost of Me. And the main character is a ghost trying to solve her own murder.
Yeah, what's the tagline on the front of the book? Is it?
Imagine trying to solve your own murder.
I've not read the book yet, but the cover's fantastic. I've heard bits of it, and I'm looking forward to reading this. So she's banned me from reading the book until the launch comes out, so I can't pick it up too much, be surprised as much as everybody else, haven't you, Amanda?
No, you've banned yourself.
And I've also got my 4th poetry book out shortly as well, haven't I?
Yeah.
I've got to sit down and sort this out, so I've got the cover done and the poems are sorted.
You've got the cover done.
Oh, correction. The cover is done by the gorgeous woman sat next to me. And she's looking around the room and shocked now, Amanda, of course, right? That's going to be out, I reckon, probably not long after your book, maybe even around at the same time. Probably,
Yeah.
So. But I said I'm not as organised as Amanda, so. And what else have we been up to, Amanda?
We've been on the radio.
Yeah. As part of my spoken label sessions, we were doing not reprint, is it? What do you call it? You do rebroadcast of a session we did with the lovely Ruth from All FM on last Sunday just gone. But we chatted, me and Amanda did, for about an hour and a quarter, basically, of everything we've been up to, so,
yeah.
And what we've got plans and stuff, so that was good fun. And what did we do the day before that?
We went to the launch of Peterloo Poems by Manchester People.
Yeah, my 7 Arches Press at the Methodist Church in Oldham Street in Manchester. I have done some video footage of that, so I'm in the process still uploading that, but the pieces me and Amanda did are among them. And they'll be, if you keep an eye on the various pages we and Amanda run, you'll see the videos of that. Oh, good one.
Yeah.
Right, okay, Amanda. What is the first book you're going to do tonight?
So the first book I'm doing is The Secret Commonwealth by Phillip Pullman, which is book 2 in the Book of Dust series.
Right, obviously this is it's linked into obviously the recent TV series Dark Materials, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, do you want to read out the blurb out?
Okay. It is 20 years since the events of La Belle Sauvage. The Book of Dust Volume 1 unfolded and saw the baby Lyra Balacra begin a life-changing journey. It is 7 years since listeners left Lyra and the love of her life, Will Parrott, on the park bench in Oxford Botanic Gardens at the end of the groundbreaking best-selling His Dark Materials sequence. Now in The Secret Commonwealth, we meet Lyra Silverton. She is no longer a child. The second volume of Phillip Pullman's The Book of Dust sees Lyra, now 20 years old and a demon, Pantalaimon, forced to navigate their relationship in a way they could never have imagined, and drawn into the complex and dangerous factions of a world that they had no idea existed. Pulled along on his own journey too is Malcolm, once a boy with a boat and a mission to save a baby from the flood, Now a man with a strong sense of duty and a desire to do what is right. Theirs is a world that once familiar and extraordinary, and they must travel far beyond the edges of Oxford, across Europe and into Asia, in search for what is lost, a city haunted by demons, a secret at the heart of a desert, and the mystery of the elusive dust.
Right, okay. A couple of questions on this one straight away, because obviously that is as if this is a direct sequel to his Dark Materials trilogy, basically, isn't it?
It's complicated how he's done it because...
Yeah, because in the first book, is it a prequel or something?
Yeah, the first book was set when Lyra was a baby, and this book is set when she's 20, so it's obviously set after his Dark Materials. So it's a very strange order. And then just to confuse things further, I've not even read book 2 and 3 in his Dark Materials, so a lot of the stuff in the blurb I haven't even read about yet, so it means nothing to me.
Oh, only you could do that.
Because I thought it wasn't confusing enough. I had to mix it up and make it just a tad more confusing.
Or just blow your head completely. Yeah. Well, very, very you that one completely. So now I know obviously straight away with this was not a Kindle or paper book you read, was it?
No, this was the audiobook again because I had the first one read to be an audiobook.
Yeah, and was it by the same gentleman actor?
Yeah, it was Michael Sheen.
And anybody knows Vanda, did we review this book in the first last year or so?
Yeah, I was really impressed with his narration because I've never heard him narrate anything before.
Thought so. And how did his narration in this book go? Before we go on to the strengths and weaknesses in general.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, obviously really engages. Okay, what did you like about this book?
I like the way Phillip Pullman creates the universe that's supposed to be like ours, but it has differences with the demons. But then he keeps adding things to it that even some of the characters don't know about. He just keeps building on it.
Oh, cool. So, what did you find? Did you engage you? So, obviously, I've seen the first TV series with you. How did the Lyra character in the book, in the audiobook, compare to the TV series?
Well, she's changed quite a lot. The blurb gives a little bit away, but there's stuff in book 2 and 3 that I've not read yet that would probably make more sense if I read it. So I am going to go read it eventually. But also, in my big pile of books.
But also, we've also got a TV series due out as well, haven't we? So who knows, knowing you, Amanda, what you'll do next. So, is there anything else you need to comment on strengths-wise?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. How long did it take you to go through the audiobook?
Oh, it was about 2 or 3 weeks.
So
we've been quite busy as well.
Yeah. Was it quite a lengthy book then? Was it just like you were busy?
It was somewhere in total between 11 and 13 hours, I think. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, well, that's a fair whack to go through then straight away, so I can appreciate that. So, okay, well, if you've got nothing else on the strengths you really like, let me ask a couple more general questions in a minute.
Okay.
What was the pacing of it like? Was it quite a thrilling ride as a book?
Yeah, there was a lot of travelling about, so Lyra was going to different places.
That's fun. And did many characters in the TV series come into the book that were interested?
There was 1 or 2, and then there was a lot of new characters and characters that might have been in the other books, but I couldn't say.
Yeah, it's fair enough. No problem. Okay, that being the case, and nothing else about the strengths. What's the weaknesses?
Okay, I had a slight problem with the fact that Lyra seemed too trusting of people. Because her life was supposed to be in danger, and she was travelling around the world, conveniently meeting and bumping into people who either know her or know of her. And she just went with her. And even though it didn't turn bad, it just seems a bit convenient that she just happened to know who to trust and who not to trust.
Well, that might be because of the gaps in the knives with your pistol stuff. It's hard to judge sometimes, yeah. Well, obviously, knowing all that, because you're trying to jump in, you've actually jumped into a series in a very weird juxtaposition.
Yeah, well, it's written them in a strange order anyway, so I'm reading them in a strange order.
Yeah, but you're probably missing things in the narrative, aren't you? So she might have secret powers when she can read people's minds and know she's trustworthy.
Probably not, no.
Well, okay, seriously, was there anything else you didn't like about the book?
No, that's it, really.
So I get the feeling then, so that being the case, and you're probably going to give this book a 3 out of 10, aren't you?
Oh, did you know?
I had the feeling you'd like a 3 out of 10, so... Okay, well, give me the summary then, and what's the mark going to be?
Yeah. It made me want to read the 2 books that I've missed. Because it sounds like a lot of interesting stuff happened.
Okay, and what do you give out of 10?
I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
Pardon me. Sorry, guys. Interrupted.
Birth fermentation.
Yeah, birth fermentation. Well, that's definitely the first reading a better recommendation of the year then. So Amanda's recommendation.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you need to say about the book Amanda's complete?
No.
Okay, well, you all know the score, guys. What we're going to do, Amanda, now?
I'm going to go to the next part.
Yeah, and pause recording, of course, as always. Hang around. It's over to me next. And let's see how much you like about psychological thrillers. See you all soon, guys. Bye.
Reading in bed.
Welcome back to part 2 of Reading in Bed with Amanda Steele and
Ian. Of course. Now, whose turn is it now, Amanda?
it's your turn.
Yeah. What do you want to know first?
What the book's called?
Okay. Book 6, bizarrely enough, is it's been advertised under both the author and under M.R. Carey, but I've also seen that advertised as Mike Carey.
So that's what the M stands for.
Yeah, it's Mike Carey, I know. Yeah. Now, the book itself is called Someone Like Me. What do you want to start with?
The blurb.
Okay. She looks like me. She sounds like me. Now she's trying to take my place. Liz Kendall wouldn't hurt to fly. She's a gentlewoman devoted to bringing up her kids in the right way, no matter how hard times get. But there's another side to Liz. One that is dark and malicious. A version of her who would do anything to get her way, no matter how extreme or violent. And when this other side of her takes control, the consequences are devastating. The only way Liz can save herself and her family is if she can find out where this new alter ego has come from and how she can stop it.
Ooh. So is this like multiple personalities?
Not quite. Not quite. It starts off.
Full doppelganger.
Yeah, pretty well. Anyway, but I'm going to have to give a lot of spoilers in this straight away. To understand it, you need to know the spoilers, okay? Now, I'll set the scene to begin with, this Amanda, okay? So you can understand what I'm getting at. I've made some quite good notes here, okay?
Okay.
Now, the book itself actually starts with Liz's ex-husband, Mark, attacking her when she asks why her kid's back so late and refuses a request so that she would go out for a meal that night with their father at this late hour. He's throttling her in an extremely violent fashion, and something Liz changes, perhaps even takes over as Liz is an observer in and around her body and fights back.
Yeah.
Now, what's interesting about this book is, I'll go for this. Do you want the strengths of this?
Yeah.
Okay, what's interesting about the book is that when it starts off, you're not quite sure whether she's just found the strength to fight back to him. Then she's pushed back, and it's like there's another person in her body.
Yeah. Fighting
her ex-husband back and nearly killing him in the process. And then he ends up getting taken to court over it because she managed to set him up. But like I said, it's when the book first gets going like that, you're not quite sure what's going on because the instant that she set up was the woman. She's quite a weak character.
Yeah.
But then she suddenly just turns into this raging thug and attacks her husband and stabs him basically.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I know. Now but what the first part of the book is, and this is up to probably the first third really, is the understanding with Liz of what happened during this incident, and Beth, who was talking in her head saying she can deal with Liz's violent ex-husband.
Yeah.
Now, just after that point, we meet another character called Fran, who's a young teenage girl, about 14 or 15. Now, the parallels between the two characters are quite interesting because it becomes quite apparent they've both got either imaginary friends or there's something going on.
Yeah.
In Fran's case, it's a fox. An imaginary fox is a friend called Jinx. And in Liz's case, it's Beth. Now, I said it's like when this all happened then, you're sat there with Liz thinking, should she let this Beth set this, or is there other character in her head? It's obviously herself. Take on a deal as ex-husband does, and she does.
Yeah.
And the fun starts. What do you think happens?
Lots of death and killing.
Correct. And after she kills her ex-husband, this is just about the halfway point in the book then. It took a while to get going. It then comes apparent that Beth is not a voice in her head. It's a Liz from another dimension who might have killed all her family.
Okay then.
Like I said, then the fun starts, right? Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
That's why. So it's the last 250 pages of the book. It really suddenly changed gears. That's for sure. So it was that's what it just really, really weird. It was very deep when you get to that stage of the book. It's haunting and also a bit mind bending in places as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you want to know?
So any weaknesses?
It's a bit of a funny one, this, because the main part of the story is the second half is the battle between Liz and Beth.
Yeah.
But I engaged more with Fran and her journey with Jinx.
Yeah.
Is that bizarre?
I don't know. Does the fox go around eating people? Because that'd be cool.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No. It's a psychological book, not a horror book. It's bizarre. It's a fantasy psychological book set in the real world, but it's borderline in some ways. It looks like it's quite aimed at, some reviews have been saying, in the teenagers. I think it's a bit older. It's a bit older. It's a bit too detailed for that.
There's some books that appeal to adults and teenagers.
Yeah, I think it's more borderline, that one. But it's 500 pages.
Yeah.
A lot to get through.
Yeah.
That's why. So, well, I said I really enjoyed them. Fran Jinx's journey in multi-ownership, and the reason why Jinx came into existence because Fran got abused when she was a very tiny kid, and it's like that Jinx is like a self-preservation mechanism, and it goes in some sort of supernatural powers. But I found the Liz and Beth a bit like black and white, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The place where it got a bit, I don't know, it's a bit 2D or not quite developed enough by my liking. But also as well, there have also been a bit of complaints on the net about this as well. And the writers usually Mike Carey, who's done about 8 other books for it and wrote dozens of comics over about 30 years or so. They took a bit of criticism of American viewers in this series.
Yeah.
The book is actually set in Pittsburgh because he's a British author that was originally born in Merseyside in London nowadays.
Yeah.
Where I've seen some reviewers complaining over things like saying a living room is constantly referred to as the lounge here. Corn on the cob is called cob corns. A gas grill, potluck dinner, and a handful of other items are referred to as British terminology, not American terminology. And we're not American, so it didn't bother me too much. But you know what I mean? You can see why it could bother other people, can't you?
If the whole story's set in American, which probably should be American words for things.
Yeah, I think there's been someone made a boo-boo there, John. But it's one of those things, like I said. It didn't. I think when you read books sometimes, I reviewed a thriller last year, and it was well out because you could tell straight away it had been badly misjudged. These, I think, will be more smaller things that probably got missed in the editing stage. That's why, but no, it's people might know Mike Carey or Mark Carey for the book called The Girl with the Gifts. I think you've seen the film, haven't you?
Yeah.
This is nothing like that, though. It's a dark psychological fantasy thriller, not pure out and out horror. I've read quite a bit of his stuff, and I prefer more the horror stuff. Truth be told, yeah, this is more the fantasy side, and not bad.
Okay.
Read worse. Reviewed worse as well.
I can think of some, but I'm not going to mention it because we've mentioned this one particular book about 10 times. So.
Yeah, we're not going to mention it. But I said, but it's just one that I think when it got going, the second half of it was really gripping. I think it got a bit, the violence popped a bit over the top, and that may not be suitable for young mothers of young teenage daughters. It was a bit, perhaps a bit upsetting for them. But as I said, no, I enjoyed it. It's just not my favourite book, man.
Okay. So, you want to give it a score?
What do you reckon I'll give it a score?
I think it would be at least 7.
8. I do like his books under Mike Carey, the Felix Castor series, and I need to get you to read them. They're about a London-based exorcist, and they're ripping as heck. And what happened, that was really well done, those books was. He's a very like John Constantine character because he wrote the Constantine comics at one point, like Carey did. And there's at least 2-3 of those books where he gets into a lot of trouble with some really nasty demons.
Yeah.
And you don't know how he's going to get out of it. This one, I spotted something in it about 150 pages ago, and I thought it, should we say, did what it did. So it got perhaps a bit predictable. But no, the second half of the book's excellent. If it had been the first half, had been say 250 pages, and 100 pages, it'd have been a 10 out of 10. But it's just a bit long for me. So. Anyway, guys.
Soon to part 2.
Yep. We're going to do our book together next, Amanda, aren't we?
Yeah.
Say bye, Amanda.
Bye.
Reading in bed. Reading in bed.
Welcome back to part 3 of
Reading in bed.
issue like a comic then. Episode 25 with Andy N.
And Amanda Steele.
Right, okay, now it's a bit of a joint book. This one is a bit unusual, Amanda, isn't it?
Yeah, because I'm in it.
Yeah. Now,
which sounds a little biased, but it's an anthology, and I'm not going to review my own story.
no, we can get you to talk about it.
Yeah.
The book itself is done by Hick Dragons, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was a cursed book, wasn't it? Because it had a lot of problems getting into sale.
Yeah, we were talking about at one point, there's nothing to hide to this, reviewing this book, probably about this time last year, maybe at one point, weren't we? And it's, owing to circumstances beyond our control, or the publisher's control, it got delayed.
Yeah.
Now, the publishing house...
A lot of delays.
Yeah, the publishing house is run by a lady called Hannah Kate,
who
we know from our radio programme, her husband Rob. So, and the book itself is made up of 20 short stories, Amanda, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you want me to read the blurb out to everybody?
Yeah, because I don't have it.
Yeah, it would help them, wouldn't it? Okay. Blurb. Bleak landscapes, empty hearts, insignificant lives, dystopian futures, extinction, limbo, uncertainty, death. A beautiful void, a horrific state of being. The simple complexities of nothingness. A new anthology of short stories that take place when everything is gone, in the empty space that left, and with the people that cling to a last deceptive semblance of something, anything, in the face of the void. Embark on a journey to nowhere, with no one, meaning nothing. Sorry, Hannah.
Quite a cheerful book to be reading, and if you need cheering up, like yesterday on Blue Monday, it would have been a perfect book, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, completely. One thing, Amanda, before we go into the strengths and weaknesses, I was doing research on all the books. The book itself in the paperback version, would you believe, is about 350 pages. The Kindle version, for some reason, is 250 pages.
I don't know how these things work. I think it's like different font sizes and spacing and stuff like that.
The book itself is spaced out really well, so I don't know how they did it on the Kindle, so it could have been quite different, certainly. Right, okay. Well, certainly we can say the strengths of it, can't we? It is a very wide-ranging collection.
Yeah, there's definitely... I mean, I like them all, but there were definitely some that I liked more than others.
Yeah, what we've done is because there's no real witnesses been given this book, truth be told you. And what we've often done is, I've gone and selected 6 stories to talk about. And we're going to ask Amanda to talk about her story in a few minutes. Well, you've got about a similar amount, haven't you?
I've got 5, but one's only got one line. And we'll see when we get to it if I actually remember it. Because I read this book over a year ago, and then because of the fact that it's cursed, it took so long to come out.
Completely. Now, I'll start off to talk to a sentence one. The first story that really grabbed me was the first story, really, because Daisy Black, called 4 Blank Pages. Do you remember that one?
I remember the title.
Yeah, well, that one was a good start to the book, really. It was a pure horror one about a travelling manuscript that seemed to cause havoc in people's lives. It went from one country to another and went somewhere else. Very old-fashioned, almost like Hammer House horror sort of deal. And that was a really nice story to start it off with. What's the first one you're listing?
Nobody by Kay Bannerman.
Probably my favourite story in the book, that one, apart from yours.
Yeah.
That's why. But that was really, it was quite a very creepy role reversal story, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, I liked the way, because everyone obviously wrote their own version of Nothing, which was the theme you had to submit to. And I liked their take on the theme of Nothing.
Yeah, because it had a character in it called, was it? No, Nobody,
it was
wasn't it?
Nobody, yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to give a twist away, because I felt that story certainly worked really well towards the twist at the end of it.
Yeah, well, I felt like it was a sort of way of saying that you get into a relationship and it leaves you with nothing in some cases. Not all relationships, obviously.
Yeah. No, true. Well, there was quite a recurring theme in the book on relationships in places. Because Jeanette Graves' piece, State of You.
Yeah, I've got that in my list as well. Favourite story.
Yeah, that was a bit of perhaps a little bit of an ambiguous ending for me. So I didn't necessarily get the ending, but the point behind the story was really well wrote, and it was like, again, it was looking how like you get trapped in one relationship and trapped in repeating some sort of relationship in a different way.
Well, the thing to me, I think it seemed a bit far fetched to me.
Yeah.
Like, she finds out the boyfriend's cheating, and normally you'd at least, try to plead with her, just, like, explain himself, and he just goes, "Don't contact me again," and that's it.
Yeah, it was a funny one. It was a funny story. It was well wrote, and nothing from it, but you're right. You could argue possibly it was perhaps too much coincidence in it in places, but no, again, but it is a very engaging story still, wherever way you look at it. What did you reckon to Hannah Kate's story? Trap Street.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that one was. It was one of the ones I read. One of the last things I read in that book. Actually, I read them very out of order, and I had to read it twice and get you to clarify something at the ending to me. I think, should we give the spoiler away on it or not?
No, I don't think so.
But it's one of those ones where it's got a twist at the end of it, and certainly my side of it, I didn't get the twist first time.
This was one that grew on me as well. Obviously, I liked it enough to put it on the list of stories to review. But when we went to the book launch last year, was it now?
Yeah, last year. End of last year, yes.
She read it out, and I remembered it, and I liked it more. Because I was thinking, like, I know where this goes.
I think you do sometimes when you like it. We went to the launch. I knew a couple of stories. It was really. I felt each of the readers that were there in the actual book, they handled them impeccably for it. And it'd be nice if Hannah ever hears it, perhaps because it's an audiobook version. I'd love to hear the writers do full-length versions of these stories. But logistics would probably be a nightmare.
Yeah.
So, right, okay. What's the other next story you've read in London?
I've got Projection by Ackley Lewis.
Okay, what have you got to say about that one then? I've not wrote about this one.
I don't actually remember this one. I've just written the line, an interesting take on dealing with loss, especially when it's someone you want close to anyway. And it still doesn't remind me what the story was.
Sorry, that one. I'll move straight on then, okay? Now, I want to ask you about your story in a minute, but obviously, how many more stories have you got that you need to comment about?
There's just Trapped by David Tumble.
Okay, tell us briefly about that one then, what you're hearing about that one.
I just wrote, shows you that showing compassion and humanity doesn't always pay off, it can backfire on you. And again, I don't remember the story, but I obviously enjoyed it.
Yeah, now, mine are a bit more, I've got three I want to comment on very briefly, okay? The third story was Anthony Cowan, it was by Banquet of Stars. After Four Blank Pages and Nobody, this one was weird because it went into territory like dealing with. I could be careful what I say for spoilers. It started off when they're going about saying a male narrator says a female narrator, "Do you think we'll eat it ever again?" And I'm thinking that's a curious one. But then at the end of it, it headed into some like cannibalism territory.
Yeah.
It was really bleak. It was really, really bleak. Really good story behind you. Now, I also enjoyed Melanie Stott's piece as well, The Forever Sea, because I liked the movement on the sea in it. It seemed the characters seemed to go crazy on the sea, and that they were trapped in a boat that I can make out. So it made me shiver on the first couple of pages of that. So that was a well done piece. My other favourite one was Sarah Peplow's Blisters. Because this one is a ghost story in a way, but it's talking about energy. It's not the case of ghosts and stuff that obviously how people die. It's what comes before. Like missed opportunities and all of that.
Oh.
It's like a sliding doors and a ghost story. And that was really, really chilling. It was an excellent piece. Now, we both have enjoyed the book a lot here. That goes without saying, Amanda, haven't we?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell people what your piece is about?
My piece is called The Empty People. And it starts off with the main character remembering her best friend who's not dead, but she had memories removed until she got to the point where her head was literally empty.
What made you write the story then?
This was before we got together.
Yeah.
And there was a guy that I liked who was blowing hot and cold all the time and acting like he liked me and then liking other people and chasing after other women.
He was just leading you on basically, wasn't it? So back
and it just started from the thought of the theme was nothing, and I thought, well, what if it was like a sort of eternal sunshine of the spotless mind type thing, and people were having memories removed, but what would happen if they kept having them removed?
Right.
And there'd be nothing left.
Yeah, because the story itself is it's a couple of years. The original version is a few years old, then, isn't it? Do you find when you were looking back at that story, then, so the first book in question, did you feel like you've changed a lot as a writer since then?
In some ways.
Yeah, I think you're right. Always writing as it develops, you change as a person, don't you? So
I think the writing was much darker back then. I struggle to get the really dark ideas to write about now, but when I do, I really enjoy writing now.
Oh yeah, it's maturity of a writer, isn't it? So, right, okay. Have you got anything else you want to say about this book, Amanda?
No, there's nothing else to say.
No, I've got nothing else to say, but like I said, I don't know what mark are you going to give it, Amanda?
I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10.
It's probably I'll give it the same for me as well, don't you? I was leaning to 8.5 again because there's 20. What's good about the book, and they're both agreeing this one is, there's 20 stories in it, and Hannah's done a really good editing job in the book.
Yeah. Because
all the stories are consistent with each other. You can tell they're individual writers, but the editing is made more quite tight together. There's nothing jars too badly, does it really at all?
Yeah. I think I've not read many anthologies before, but the short story collections that we've read, there's always been at least a few of them that we've gone away and we've not liked and we've hated. And I don't think there was anything that I really hated in that book.
No, it wasn't for me either, Joshua. I think you find obviously all matches selection and process. There's always some pieces you prefer more than others.
Yeah.
But there was, again, as I agree in London, there's nothing I hated about the book. I thought it was a good solid book.
Yeah.
It's worth £8.5 your time as a paperback on Amazon or a Kindle for £3.5 on Amazon. Certainly so. Right, guys.
So that's it.
Yeah. Now, what are we doing next month, Amanda? Do you know yet?
I'm reading a book called The Secret Sister.
My book at the moment is on top of the microwave in the other room. Is it The Woman in Black?
Yeah.
The Woman in Black based in the film. I've seen the film, so I'm looking forward to comparing this to the book. So that's the first one I've got, and I've got another book somewhere else in the flat as well. So, but we'll see. Thank you for your patience, guys, and who knows next month? We're back up to 5-6 books by then. We'll just calm down a bit, Amanda, won't we?
Probably not.
Probably not now. We'll see. Anyway, guys, then. Amanda?
Bye.
See you all soon, guys. Thank you for your patience. Happy New Year again as well.
Read and bet. Read and bet. Read and bet. Read and bet.